Hey everybody, it's Peter Cunha, your New Jersey real estate giant, broker owner of Open Doors, and I'm with Steven Quaranta from M&T Bank right now. We're both laughing here. Steve, say hi real quick.
Hi, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm Steven Quaranta.
And I was just joking because off camera I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, does that mean 40? And he was like, yeah. I won't give your age away because I know you're not 40. So Stephen, I appreciate your time and for being here. Your bank is located on 35, is that correct?
Yeah, we're right on Highway 35 in Red Bank.
Okay, and what do you do over there at M&T Bank?
Yeah, so I'm a branch manager over here. We handle everything from, consumer checking accounts all the way up to commercial real estate. We are a community bank. We handle it all. Our slogan's understanding what's important. So that's what I do with everyone who comes in here, man. We try to understand what's important to who's sitting in front of us.
That's great. I know I've actually had some history. I used to bank with you guys a long, long time ago when I was in New York City. And I guess where was M&T Bank based out of? Because you started up in Baltimore, is that correct?
Yeah, I got started with M&T in Baltimore. We're based out of Buffalo. That's where the corporate headquarters is. But we kind of have a secondary headquarters in Baltimore, the football stadium where the Ravens play. That's M&T Bank Stadium. But yeah, I got started out there in Baltimore. But about 5 or 6 years ago, M&T purchased Hudson City Savings Bank. And that's where we kind of inherited our New Jersey footprint from. And M&T just recently acquired People's United Bank. So we just acquired a New England footprint as well.
All right. Yeah, no, because we're just kind of getting to know each other, and I actually have a little bit of a background in, I guess, finance, but I used to target banks when I used to sell global payment software, and it's I would have to track all these what I call regional to semi-regional banks, and it's amazing to see how you guys can grow like literally in the 6 months to a year. How are, let's tie this in a little bit to interest rates. How are you guys doing since the Feds, basically doubled interest rates in a matter of 6 months?
Yeah, it's been a really interesting time. So, with the Fed increasing the interest rates to combat inflation, we've seen a lot more people taking advantage of the equity they have in their homes due to the kind of uncertainty associated with that. So we're doing a lot of home equity deals over here. And we've kind of been seeing that region wide. A lot of our branches are seeing a lot of customers coming in, inquiring about the equity that they have in their home and the interest rate hikes. So yeah, we're really seeing a lot more interest in the housing market and tying it into people's personal finances.
Right, and it's being someone that just did a home equity line of credit. What are you guys offering as far as a percentage?
Yeah, so we actually have we can go as low as 3.99 right now. So there's an introductory rate that M&T offers, but yeah, it usually ties directly with prime. It's a variable interest rate product, but yeah, there's really good introductory offer that M&T provides for our clients.
Is this for the home equity line of credit, or?
I'm sorry, what was that?
This is for the home equity line of credit, right?
Correct.
I just don't want people barging in there saying, hey, you said you could buy something, I could buy a house for 4%.
No. Yeah, let's be very clear about that.
Okay, no, and it's just we want to set the record straight. We don't want to mislead anybody. And it's a shift, right? I'm seeing banks. I have a friend that's a lender with a regional bank out of Florida, and they're just stopping all lending altogether right now. They hit the pause button. it's interesting. It could be a great opportunity for them. It could be, it could be, hey, we got to reposition and, reimagine ourselves as that's the buzzword, or at least when I was in tech, reimagining banking. So,
Yeah. I mean, what's really interesting is over the past, I'd say like 6 to 9 months, we've seen a lot of banks kind of bow out of the home equity space, probably having to do with the uncertainty in the housing market and the interest rates rising. But with M&T, that's pretty much been a bread and butter product, so to speak. We really take pride in the flexibility that the home equity line of credit offers for our customers. And it still helps out a lot of people. That's kind of what it's about. It's using that tool that you have essentially in the asset of your house to consolidate debt, or do something that you've been wanting to do for a while. Like I said, everyone's different, everyone's got a different story, but it's always good to talk with someone about the tools you have at your disposal.
right. No, and it's interesting. And I don't want to talk too much shop. I think people get the gist. If you need a home equity line of credit, I think you told me 85%. Go see Steven. And again, it's the M&T branch. You mentioned you also live in Red Bank. Your office is in Red Bank. How long is your commute?
Oh, my commute right now is about 5 minutes. Beautiful thing.
Is that a bike ride, a stroll, or is that a car ride?
No, it's a car ride. I suppose it could be a bike ride, but yeah, definitely a car ride.
Right. I used to have this philosophy when I was younger. It's like I wanted to be able to get to work if I didn't have to take a cab in Manhattan, right? So it's like wherever I took a job is where I would rent, or I bought, a condo up there. And it was always great, and even that, bad weather, you'd still take a cab, even though it was like 5 blocks. Says a lot about me, I guess. So,
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Baltimore, I walked pretty much everywhere, or I took the e-scooters
right,
that they have all over the place over there.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll be going to appointments on the e-scooter.
right. No, that's great. So you were Jersey born. You lost your way and went to Baltimore. Is that correct? Or
Well, not exactly. I was born in Brooklyn.
all right,
I was born in Brooklyn. My parents moved to Jersey when I was a little kid, and I actually was raised in Jackson.
gotcha. Okay.
Then after I started going to college, I ended up moving to Virginia, where I got my start in banking. And then opportunity took me to Maryland, where I got started with M&T. And then I saw this Red Bank office open up, and it was time for me to come home. So then I ended up right here, back to where I started.
That's great, man. I did the same thing. I wound up living in New York for 20 years, and I met my soon-to-be wife of 10 years, and we moved here from Manhattan. We lived down in Asbury Park for a little bit, but I was born and raised in Long Branch, and it's amazing to see what Long Branch has become, because it used to, it went from, it used to be, I guess, like Point Pleasant Boardwalk with all the games and stuff, to all the carnival stuff, and then it burnt down and then became a wasteland, in my opinion. And now to see it, I was joking. I was talking to somebody earlier today. I went to Red Bank Catholic, and I don't know what your experience is with Red Bank, but I graduated high school in '91, and back then it was Red Bank was known as Dead Bank, because like all the storefronts were empty and everything else. And it's like, I always crack up that there's a Tiffany's down there.
Yeah. You know what? You mentioned you were in Asbury Park for a little bit. I remember growing up, Asbury Park was a very different place, and now Asbury Park is almost a tourist destination at this point. I mean, it's beautiful down there. It's so amazing to see that in such a short amount of time, like the turnaround for that. It's really cool. I mean, I go out in Asbury a lot, and that definitely wasn't the case for people, 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's my wife, the joke is this. So me and my wife are heavily tattooed, and she's from Minnesota. She lived in Manhattan when I met her. And when she moved down here, we moved to Asbury Park. When you think of Asbury, like there's a little bit, kind of a psyche very different than Red Bank, right? And those are pretty much the two destinations that most people go out for dinner. And I love it because she was like, everybody's like me, everybody's all tatted up. And I'm like, this is the whole Jersey Shore, right? And it's like, now we live in the burbs. And she's like, oh, not so many tattoos anymore.
Well, you know what? I love how that's kind of changing. I'm also heavily tattooed. So, M&T actually just recently changed our policy where we could show them if they're not obscene, which I don't have any of those.
Not yet.
So,
Not yet,
I can finally roll my sleeves up.
So let's give a plug to your tattoo artist.
Oh, I got JR Seda in Tom's River. He did an awesome job on my leg, and he did a really great job on my arm. So I always plug JR at Addiction Tattoo in Tom's River.
Addiction tattoo. I have an addiction tattoo story, but the addiction tattoo in New York City. And you want to talk about like I always think about that Mars commercial, the Mars chocolate bar, where the guy's like, oh, getting a tattoo. He's like, no regrets. And it comes out, no regrets. And I had read this book by Daniel Pink that really kind of changed the way. It was like one of these early books, self-help, that really kind of got you thinking differently. And the word that he used in the book a couple of times was zeitgeist. So I was like, you know what? I fucking love this word. I'm gonna get the word zeitgeist, right? Tattooed on her arm. And then as soon as like the guy's like, I believe his name was Tommy, he starts tattooing. He's like on the second letter. He goes, "You getting zeitgeist because of the movie?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about, movie?" Right? And it's like one of these rabbit holes where 9/11 was a government conspiracy and all this other shit. And
Oh, geez.
I'm like, that's another way to think of it. It's like, so I always love what does zeitgeist mean? I'm like, how much have you seen the movie? Like, it's not necessarily no regrets, but it's we have a spiritual arm, we have an arm that it's not there's nothing bad about it, but it's called what the darker side, or not the spiritual side of life. I have I met this guy randomly from Germany, and he was on tour with AC/DC. It's like we were talking tattoos, and he was telling me at the time, this was like going way back, but he was saying how in Germany you had to schedule like an appointment 6 months in advance for like any tattoo artist, good or bad. I was like, we could just go downtown and get a tattoo, right? He goes, really? So we went down to Addiction Tattoo, and he's like, well, I don't know what to get. I go, well, you're on tour with AC/DC. Why don't you get like Statue of Liberty with a microphone? So he did.
Okay.
I always think about that. So wherever you're at, he's an Australian mate. I appreciate him. Every time he's in New York, we try to get together. So
that's awesome. Is he come around ever after that? You ever see the finished product on that?
No, I mean he had so many tattoos. Yeah, he I was a baby in the tattoo world when he was just he was a roadie and a grip guy, and it was just really good guy, and I love following him on Facebook and everything else. So what's your all right, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. You're in Red Bank. What's your favorite restaurant in Red Bank? I just had lunch there.
So my favorite restaurant in Red Bank is Teak. Huge fan of the sushi. I like going there on the weekend when it turns into the nightclub at night. So all around, I'm a big Teak guy.
All right, I'm going to Teak tomorrow for lunch. All right, and then you mentioned Asbury Park. What's your favorite restaurant in Asbury?
I don't know if I have a favorite restaurant out there. I know I love going to Johnny Mac's out there. But I think that I would go with the pizza at Johnny Mac's. Is my favorite meal in Asbury.
Have you been there on a Sunday morning? Do they still make eggs?
You know what? I haven't been there on a Sunday morning, so I'll have to get back to you on that.
All right, and then there's always SantaCon. That's what the last time I was there, it's when Asbury, I think they still do SantaCon. And my daughter was a baby and she came as an elf and I was Santa, and we did this cute little picture. It's adorable. I had a mustache back then. I called it like a and just my daughter looking into my eyes. I was like, there's all these Santas rolling around.
I did SantaCon in Seaside last year. It was a good time.
Yeah, nobody got arrested, right?
No, sir. Not that I was able to see, at least.
I'll save it for off camera, but my first experience with SantaCon, I was like, what the hell's going on here? All right, I said I was also going to put you on the spot. You said you like sports, but I think I'm going to go a different direction.
Okay.
What's your last concert?
My last concert, gotta think. I think it was Coheed and Cambria at the Stone Pony Summer Stage last summer. It's been a while for me.
Who was it?
Coheed and Cambria.
Don't know it.
Yeah, they were really big in like the early 2000s. They're a rock band.
Sorry, best song, sing it.
I can't do that, man.
Come on, man. Come on.
No way. No one would know it.
All right. What's your favorite Bob Marley tune?
My favorite Bob Marley tune is the Redemption song.
All right, let's go.
No, man, you're not gonna get me singing.
Come on.
No way.
All right. Fair enough. I'll save you on this one. And then the only other thing is, did you care that Aaron Judge hit 62 or not?
Sure did.
All right, just
Sure
making sure
did.
you're on the right side. Just making sure you're on the right side of history there. It's funny. I bumped into a Mets fan, and he was, what did he say to me? He goes, "Yeah, if you guys get really excited about the seventh most home runs in a season."
Well, you know what? My best friend's a Met fan, and he chirps me all the time, saying like, "Who cares?" Whatever.
Right.
And I was like, "How many home runs did Pete Alonso hit this year?" Not as many.
That's what I was telling him. I was like, I don't even, like literally, I'm the worst, by the way. I used to be a bartender in New York City for a hot stint. I served Channing Tatum and had no idea that it was Channing Tatum, right? And the funniest part is my reaction when I went to, I think, either Transformers or G.I. Joe's, whichever movie he's in, with my kid. I'm like, I know that guy. My wife's like, Channing Tatum. I'm like, yeah, whatever his name is, I've done shots with him. Right. And I'm just like, and there's a long series of people that I've met in my lifetime that I've had no idea who they were. And Pete Alonso could fall into that category. And I couldn't tell you who they are, what they look like or anything like that. So I don't know if that's, that's bad for me or not. And sorry for all my Mets fans out there. So listen, Steven, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So the best way to get in touch with me is probably email. I'm also on LinkedIn. And then you can always just come in the branch, come right in my office and let's talk. So it's 75 Highway 35. My name is Steven Quaranta. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very responsive on there. And my email is just first initial, last name @mtv.com.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thank you for your time. And I'll stop by. I mean, my office is right down the street. I'll formally introduce myself.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Looking forward to it.
All right, later, buddy.